In chess, one of the best openings is the Sicilian defense, but what is one of the best responses against it? E4, c5, and now white plays pawn to c3. What's the point of this move? You want to get the center straight away. So if you're not careful, already white might be a little bit better. White has the center already. If you try to attack it, then white will just defend it. This is not really the kind of position that we want to get. Why am I creating this video? Because I know a few of my students play the Sicilian with black. Just want to create this video to help them out right now. Pawn to c3. How is black going to stop white from getting the center? We need to counter the center now. One high-level response is this. You strike in the center. This is actually a cool response because the knight can't attack you. However, in this video, I want to show you an aggressive response. Knight to f6. Attack the center straight away. Once you attack the center, white's main response is pawn to e5. We're going to attack the knight, and now the knight can sit very well in the center. Just want to show you guys if white doesn't play that. Well, this is actually a really good setup for us because white can't get the center anymore. It's going to take them a long time to get the center, which is ideal for us. We're going to go into a dragon setup, and then after castle, we are totally fine. This bishop on e2 is not really a good piece, just blocked in by the pawn and knight. We can get our knight to c6 to control the center, pawn to e5 to control, and maybe even pawn to d5 striking in the center. So let's go back a few moves. Why is William showing you this response? Because it's not the most testing response. At the moment, pawn to e5 is the most testing. Now the knight sits really well in the center. Whenever white strikes in the center, you must take this. Here's another response. If bishop to c4, just attacking the knight, I want you to go pawn to e6. Don't worry about doubled pawns. It doesn't matter. You can always go d6 next to attack the structure. Now, if they go queen f3 just to attack it, you give it up. This is an amazing line. You give up the pawn, and now you can attack the queen. Something like this. The queen is actually misplaced a bit. If you go check, then the bishop can get blocked. And really, we have this fantastic position. The two bishops slice the board. I only found this out when researching this video for the students. The two bishops slice the board. You can castle. The queen can go to c7. We already have a very nice position. Just want to show you a really quick opening trap here. If knight to f3, castle is a classic opening trap. You want to win the queen, so you just play bishop takes h2 check. The queen is lost. So let's just go back a few moves. It's very important for me to cover these lines first, and then you can see the main line. So in this moment, you will see pawn to d4. Now after take, there's one small opening trap. Yeah, knight to f3 here. Do not take the pawn because you lose the knight. So you just ignore it. You just go e6 and then d6. So please remember this setup. Two pawns in the center, and then supporting the knight. So just going back a few moves, it doesn't really matter the move order. Pawn to d4 here, take, and now you strike in the center. And now you go e6 and we're ready to castle. So in this kind of position, there are a few responses. The bishop can come out to c4, pawn to a3, bishop to e2, and then ready to castle. So in this position, let's go back a little bit just to this moment here. Bishop to c4. To this moment, yes, this is the main line, so you might see this the most often. Bishop here attacking the knight. Don't worry, we can go bishop to e7. Don't fear this double pawn situation because it is never doubled. On your next move, you can castle. You can castle first here and then take the pawn, something like this. Nothing to fear really. Even this. Put the bishop on here. It looks a little bit ugly, the two bishops just blocked in by its own pawns, but later you can always take. You can always take something like that. You see, your pawns are never truly doubled. So that's one very important thing. Because double pawns, there's just such a big weakness in chess. Well, not in this kind of position. Okay, let's go back a little bit. So after bishop to c4, bishop e7, now we can castle. And then we can handle this kind of position. After queen e2. This is a normal move because the queen defends the bishop. Now we can go b6. This is how I want you to see this. Now they might put the rook in the center to defend, and now bishop to b7. Okay, how can we glance at this position? Well, we've got a very solid structure in the center. Two pawns here defending the knight and supported by the bishop. Next, the knight can come into d7 to put pressure on e5. The queen can go to c7 to put pressure on the bishop, and then the rook can also go to c8 as well. So we've got lots of different ideas in this kind of position. Now, what happens if they maybe just get the bishop out to normal square? This is not really the critical setup. They really should be challenging our knight. Bishop to e2, bishop e7, castle, castle, something like this. And now I've got multicolored arrows just to show each idea. b6 next. So then the bishop might come out to b7 or to a6. Knight goes to d7. Do you remember I showed that in the previous line, putting pressure in the center, and then the queen can come out to c7 as well. You see that that used to be the yellow arrow, but now the red arrow is just the rook coming to c8. So something like this. Maybe white plays a move like this, knight c3. Don't worry about this. I always love seeing this move because take, and now this is a pawn chain, but you see this pawn, that's a backward pawn, so it's a weakness. So something like this. Queen attacks, and now you can attack the center. Attack it with both the pawn and the knight. And maybe b6. Now the bishop. Very healthy way to play. Bishop here occupies this long diagonal. That rook in the just a few moments ago, that rook was the red arrow, and they're now putting pressure here, and you continue to put pressure here. So this is one way to continue. Just want to show you another really fancy little bishop move. It might come out to d2. Bishop d2 there. And now you go b6. Now the bishop can come to b7, but really bishop can come to a6 to swap it off. Knight c3. You might be thinking, well, why is William showing you this? Because after take, now you take with the bishop. Now you've got this mega structure where the bishop heads, the bishop lines up against these pawns. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You can go here again, trade it off. You can go bishop here, knight here, put pressure here, rook here to c8, put pressure, and black is totally fine. So these are really the main moves. I believe I have covered everything. Yes, I have. So, a short video today. Good. It's fine. Just a quick short video because I want you guys to stay on this channel. It'll just lead to a few more videos coming up. So, just to quickly summarize, one of the best openings is the Sicilian defense, and one of the best responses is pawn to c3. They want to get the center, but of course we challenge the structure. We challenge the center now. The knight sits really well. The knight sits really well in the center and break open the structure. This is one more key moment actually. If they take, you can take with the queen. Something like this. Something like this. The queen, it sits well. If here, just castle. Just castle. If they attack us, doesn't matter. Just drop the queen back. And now we still have a really healthy knight in the center. So that is one final key moment that I should have mentioned earlier, but I'm glad I'm mentioning it right now. So this is how we handle the C3 Sicilian. I hope you guys enjoyed this openings video. If you guys want to stick around, in the top left corner, I have another Sicilian openings video, just to quickly cover it all in 12 minutes. Now in the bottom left corner, I've got an advanced video. Ali Reza Firouzja plays the best opening, the Sicilian Najdorf. As you can see on the thumbnail, it is an octopus knight. You might be thinking, what is that about? Now in the top right corner, if you want something totally different, this video we covered black openings. In the top right corner, it will be a white opening. How to play one of the best openings with white, the Catalan opening. Top right corner. And in bottom right corner, what's a cool one I want to recommend? Best chess game you wish you played. It's got 22 ideas, totally different from the other 3 videos on the screen, but it's rising on this channel, so I'm very confident you will love it. Which video will you pick? 1, 2, 3 or 4?